Welcome, everyone. My name is Jacqueline Biron. We'll be getting started here right away. Just a few details I'd like to cover. This presentation is about 20 to 30 minutes long. Any questions, please feel free to ask them via the questions and chat function. I'll be reviewing during the presentation, and we'll be answering either throughout the presentation and during the Q&A session at the end. Today's topic is on sample registration, and our presenter is Drew McRae, who is Fluid Life's Reliability Solutions and Training Manager. I will hand this over to him and we'll get started. Welcome, Drew.
Thank you, Jacqueline. As Jacqueline mentioned, my name is Drew McRae, and today we're going to be talking about sample registration. So we're going to get right into it. Some of the key points here that we're going to cover is sample registration. So an incorrectly registered sample, it's just as bad as an improperly taken sample. It's really important that we pre-label our bottles, make sure there's no mix-ups. Correctly filled out labels will really help in aiding faster processing with our customer care. And that results in them not having to come back to contact you guys and be like asking, where is this missing data? So it's really it's really important to be sure all sample data is entered correctly. Missing or incorrect data can delay the processing, and properly registered samples can ensure good, accurate oil analysis. So furthermore, having all unit information registered to ensure correct results includes the following at a minimum: unit and component type, manufacturer or model, correct oil type, whether the oil was changed at the time the sample was taken, like a yes or no type question. Correct data for registration is critical because different equipment will have different criteria. Like the example I'm going to give you guys here is you're going to have different particle count flagging limits for hydraulic oil and final drives. So how can you ensure correct sample registration? So we have these sample tags, these little QR code dog tags. Your company's internal sampling and registration policies and procedures, and ensuring all units are created in myLab. Now, this is probably going to be your most important one, and this means regular updates to your assets in myLab as well. I've been on oil analysis audits before where we go around and sometimes pieces of equipment aren't even there anymore, or there's new pieces of equipment that have completely different specs that are in its place. So it's really important to keep on top of that. So some of the key points furthermore is samples can be registered through the three main ways here. Our mobile myLab app, which is basically an application for your phone or tablet or whatever. The myLab web portal, which I'm sure most of you guys are quite familiar with, as well as the manual registration, which is the sample cards. Samples can be registered individually or in batches in myLab via components, do samples, routes, and PM definition. Now, today we're not going to go too much in depth on those, but if you would like more help, our team here at Fluid Life will be more than happy to help you on that. So how to register samples via the mobile app. So you can download the app through the Apple Store or the Google Play Store. Pretty simple, just look for Fluid Life myLab app and it'll pop right up. Now, what's really nice about the app is if samples are registered in remote areas or while in airplane mode, the information will be transmitted back once into cellular range or connected to Wi-Fi. So what that means is you can input all your sample data and then you just refresh the app and then it'll be uploaded to myLab after that. So when the samples are received in the lab, they are scanned to pull out the correct information. So there's two ways within this as well. So we're going to do a demonstration using the equipment tag, which is these dog tag things here, as well as a manual input. So there's a 6-step process, and I mean, some of it's fairly obvious here. There we go, that worked for us. So step 1 is you're going to log in, and step 2 is we're going to scan an equipment tag. select components, scan the sample bottle, verify the information, and check for recently submitted samples. Now I'm going to go over this video twice because the first time it's just going to show you how quick you can use this register your sample. So here we go. So I'm going to play that again for you guys so you guys can see it in a slower way, and I'll walk through it. So right now I'm going to click on this myLab app, my phone. And then the next step is you click on this button here to scan your equipment tag. And it's fairly quick, so you scan it there. And next I'm going to type in here my meter reading as well as click on oil change. And then the next step, I'm going to press the scan button here, and this is where you would press to scan your bottle. Oh, sorry guys. And there, scan the bottle. Then you're going to press save here on the bottom, and then you can pull down and refresh to see your equipment. So with the manual input, it's very, very similar in the fact that you're going to click through the same process, but instead of the scanning the tag, this is where you would have a manual input. This is for those of you who don't actually have the QR dog tags. So walk through this one again. So again, click on the myLab app, and instead of this time scanning equipment tag, you're going to search for a unit. Put in our number there. We're going to pull down after that, and you see that the unit comes up. So in this case, we're going to select this, whatever components we're going to be sampling. So in this case, we're going to be sampling the engine. We're going to press sample, enter sample info, which is the next, sorry, I hover over that and the play bar comes up, but you can see where it comes up. So the same process, you're going to put in your meter reading and select oil change, and you're going to scan your bottle. Very simple process. And you can see that that unit is there now. So registering via the web portal. So this is where we go to the internet to do this one here. So we're going to pull this up here, and we are going to do this way through the old method of doing it. So a lot of you might have this old style setup samples. So we're going to set up samples. We're going to search by component list, and you'll see that all your components come up. So we can select an engine and a final drive. In this case, we're going to set up our samples, and you can see that these tags appear. Now this is for where you don't have QR bottles necessarily, and you can see that your date here is automatically published as today. If you want to sample on another day, you can simply change the dates here. And you see that oil change is automatically already selected there. For your meter readings, you can do it up here, put in your hours, calculate, and you can see that the oil service automatically updates. Once that's done, you can create your labels, and you can see they're both here. And these are the ones you would affix to the jar. Here you can print. It's good to make sure you have the Dymo printed, because then it'll print off labels individually, and I'll show you guys that here. Takes a second. And there you go, your labels are printed. Now with the new method, some of you may have already been set up with this way, and there's another easy way to do is you can do a quick search for your pieces of equipment. So we'll look at this one again. You can see that all the data comes up, and these are all your components for that specific dozer. So we're going to set up samples. We're going to click here, and we're just going to click final drive and engine in this case, and we're going to set up samples. Similar thing, the data is up here. You put in your meter reading, calculate it. But you see how this is a little bit different looking than the other method that we used. So this here, you can either scan a barcode. If you have one of those barcode readers at your desk, which I do, I'm going to scan my sample, and you can see that it's there. I'm going to apply that, and now I have this label created just for that piece of equipment. Now, if you say you didn't have a barcode, you could select down here, I don't have a barcode, a jar. Press that, allow generation, and then you click on this here, generate tracking number, and now you have a tracking number created for that. So we're going to save the two samples, and you can see that this one here, this is already on your jar. This will be if you have a pre-labeled jar or pre-barcoded jar, and in this case, you'll be printing off this specific label. And same idea, print generated labels, and we're going to make sure we have the Dymo printer, print, and it's there. Pretty straightforward. So some things to remember with the web-based registration. Now, their samples can be registered individually or in batches, like we mentioned. The workflows can be done as register your sample and then print it and then collect the sample. Collect sample, then register, and then optionally print it. A lid sticker is really good for this, for keeping track of samples. So basically what you would do in this is you take your box of bottles, go to the sample, and you'd write on the lid what you sampled. Now, you don't necessarily need the lid sticker, but they're really good to have. It's just easier to keep things tracked for you. You can register in advance, and basically labels without a date and meter reading go on there, and then you go back later and update the information in myLab. Route-based, which is more for fixed equipment based or in plant sites. Routes need to initially be set up for this though. What you would do is you print out the labels and apply to the bottle as you go and sample at each specific component. Now, PM definition is a little different. It's defined once components are taken at a specific interval and not specified to a specific unit. So basically what I'm saying on that is if you have a 797 heavy haul truck, the PM interval is likely going to be the same for all those trucks. So you could just have that PM definition for all trucks and just have that one set up that way. So manual registration. Now this is the probably the more longer method of doing it than one of our older methods of doing it. So this is basically what a sample card looks like. These we can provide at a nominal cost to you guys, or you can print them off easily from our website, and I'll show you where you do that. And now here is a sample card, and at minimum what we need is customer, the unit ID or serial number, component ID or type, and the more data you provide, the less time it takes for processing. It's really important to have an equipment list prior in this case, and a properly completed sample card ensures more efficient lab processing. And as I mentioned, we're kind of moving away from this, so you can purchase the labels, or you can print them off from our website. So some common mistakes we do see on our sample cards is only the slip on the left is filled out. Only the slip on the left side of the card is filled out, and the rest is left blank. The left side of the card here, this is intended to be for your own sample records. So this part you send to Fluid Life and this part you keep. So oil type is often left out or not filled out to match what is in use. So for example, if someone has a use of the Petro-Canada oil, they might only fill in PET, and that leaves us not sure what exactly is going on with that oil. Card will be filled out with equipment ID in different forms, lacking consistency. Now, what I mean by that is some customers will have different technicians doing the sampling. So one technician might write it down as the LSD location. Another technician might name the brand name of a piece of equipment or the type of equipment. For example, if it's a gearbox, they may call it the right gearbox, or another person will have the exact location or the proper equipment number. So it's just important to have that consistency. Now the gray box here, you can see up here, this is lab use only. Now, sometimes it gets confused that this whole thing is for the lab. This all needs to be filled out by you guys. Completed information, the slip on the left is not torn off. As I mentioned, that's for you guys to keep. Serial numbers on the cards do help us find your equipment if other data is missing from it. So in summary, Fluid Life, we can help you review your equipment list, provide more myLab training. If you need technical help with the phone app or myLab, ordering QR tags and bottles, printing sample cards, or helping to pick a method of registration that's best suited to your needs. We can help you with all that. And here's some contact information you can reach out to us at. Now, I'm just gonna quickly go over some of the website where I can give you guys some help with that. So the tutorials are very easily to find. They're under our resources tab, and then myLab tutorials, and they're all right here. So if you need some more advanced equipment registration videos or PDFs, they're easily found right here. I'll just look at this one quickly just to show you how easy it is to find. And you can see there's a step-by-step as well as a video that are very well done and very easy to go through. There's also this page here. If you have more further questions about having to set up samples, we have fluidlife.com/sample setup, and it'll go through a step-by-step process for mobile scan, our web registration, as well as the printable sample card that I had mentioned. Now, if you need sample bottles, under sampling resources, they're right here. You can get your sampling kits, sampling hardware, if you're interested in the QR tags, the dog tags that I had mentioned, as well as our sample registration. It's all right here, and this will just lead you to our sample registration page. So I'm going to turn it over back to Jacqueline, and if you guys have any questions, we'll go from there.
Thank you, Drew. I'm actually just going to launch a poll here for you guys to answer. It's going to be open for about 30 seconds. You could just enter in your response, and then I will share the results on that. And then if any questions pop in here, we will answer those as well. I'll just give it about another 10 seconds here as I see a couple more coming in. Okay, I'm going to close that up, and then I can share that as well. So you guys should be able to see the poll results. You can see at the moment, currently, we see a lot more manual registrations using the sample cards. which honestly is what's been around the longest. So I'm not surprised at that. And as you can see, slowly we're moving over towards the myLab portal and the app. I do have a couple questions here from Derek, and this is going to be for you, Drew. Are you able to demonstrate how you would set up a QR tag and tag it the correct sample location within myLab?
That's something we can do a one-on-one with you, Derek. That's a little bit more advanced. With the equipment tags, you have to have your equipment already registered in myLab, and then with the QR tags, you would associate it once you open the app. So that is something we can definitely help you with.
Okay, any other questions? I'll give another minute here. I should mention that this webinar has been recorded and will be posted on the Fluid Life website for on-demand viewing for anyone who happened to miss it or would like to re-review some of the stuff that was covered by Drew today. Our next session is next Thursday, May 7th at 9 a.m. Mountain Time, and the topic is contamination control. Okay, I do not see any other questions here, so I'm going to say thank you so much, Drew, and thank you everyone for joining us. If you do find you have any other additional questions, feel free to give us a call. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you.